Hi guys, I am Sherry with Hearts and Halos, and I am going to do a quick and easy video tutorial on how to make beautiful book page paper roses. You obviously could use these with sheet music. You could probably use construction paper, anything you have on hand. They're gorgeous and they're easy. So what you're going to need today are 4 pages of book paper, and you need them in a square. So if you don't have perfectly square book pages, which most people don't, you're just going to fold a triangle on your book, on your page, and try to get it as exact as possible. And then you cut off the excess, and that will give you a perfect square, just like that. All right, so you're gonna need 4 of these squares, which I have right here. So you're gonna need scissors, you're gonna need a pencil or something to mark your little template with, and lots of glue. So to get started, let's do these one by one. You have 4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it into a triangle again. Then you're gonna fold it again. Get these out of the way. You're gonna fold it again into another triangle. Again, if you line them up really well, it will come out nicer. And then one more. Line up your points. So then you have a smaller one. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the folded end, the flat end, and you're going to make a little template. So I'm just going to cut the first one. So on this end, right here, so you've got your folded end. On the straight part, put the point down, and you're basically going to cut like you're cutting out a heart. So you just make, just like you're cutting out a paper heart. And then it looks like this. Oh, I actually did 2. So then you have these little flowers, okay? We're going to do the same thing to these guys. If your paper is thin, you can do a couple at a time. If you're using like a thicker type of a cardstock, you'll probably have to just do them one at a time. Okay, so one more triangle. And get those points lined up as best you can. And then I'm gonna take this guy, fold it back up, and use it as a template. Okay, so just put it right back down. This just kind of ensures that you've got a really similar, you want your loops to be, or your folds to be very, very similar. It just makes it easier. And just cut that out again. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it really does help to line up your points. Okay, don't need that anymore. So now, open up your little flowers. You'll have 4 of them. This is very, very easy, y'all, but it does, practice makes perfect. Let's put it that way. All right, so for your first one, you're going to cut up to the center, and you're going to remove 1 petal. So just cut up, you can cut right along your fold line, and you're just going to remove 1 petal right along your fold lines. And save this because we're going to use it. Okay, so that's number 1. So number 2, we're going to do 2. So we're going to cut up through the middle, and then we're going to remove 2 petals, which is actually a heart. There's a heart. So now we've got 2. And for your third one, you guessed it, we're going to remove 3. So go up to the center, and we're going to do 3. And you've got your fold lines that will help you. And again, save your pieces because we're going to use those. For the 4th one, you guessed it, we're going to do 4, which is half. So just cut right along your line in half. Okay, so now let's start with number 1. So what we're gonna do with number 1 is we're going to glue it. So we're gonna kind of bring it into itself like this so that it's in a little cone, and we're gonna glue it. So you can do it however you want, but I think it's easier to put the glue on the one that you're gonna bring the top one over. And you just bring it over, place it right on, and you get this perfect little cone. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the number 2, and we're gonna do the same thing. So we're just gonna glue it. See, it's really, really easy, y'all. And they're so pretty. I just can think of so many things that you could use these for. So many things. Same thing, just a little smaller. We'll go to number 3, and we'll do the same thing. Now, I have not tried to make them smaller than this. I'm going to. I think you can. I think it'll just be a little bit more, maybe a little more challenging, but definitely doable. So again, same thing. And then our last one, well, of the actual petals, we're still gonna need to do all of those other pieces, which are actually the insides of the flower. So now you've got this, that's the beginnings. So now, let's do the same thing to all of our little pieces. Just put some glue on and then fold it in. Kind of creates like a little cylinder. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Just wanted to do like this. The smaller they get, it gets to be a little more challenging to get them together. Okay, so that's one piece. Now we'll do our heart. And I'm just gonna kind of roll this one. This one's harder. Not gonna lie. Kind of messed that one up a little bit. Okay, so it's gonna go in here, like that. And then the last one is very challenging. So I'm gonna roll it first. And then glue it. It's really tiny. It goes like that. So now let's build it. So let's get our first one. And we're gonna snip the end off of number 2. Because we wanna really nestle it down in there. So then we're gonna put some glue right around the bottom of number 2. And you wanna make sure that you get the petals so that they're not on top of one another. You want the petals to be like this, and then you want this one to be in the middle of those 2 petals. So with every layer, you wanna make sure you do that. So then we'll get number 3, and we'll do the same thing. We'll snip the tip off, put a little bit of glue right around the bottom, and then we'll do the same thing. We wanna get it in between there. So I'm gonna put that in between those 2, and then press it down in there. So you're getting the start of it, okay? I wanna make sure that it's nice and tight. And we're gonna take this last one, and we'll give it a little bit of glue, and we'll do the same thing. Put this in between these. Hold it there for a second, and then we'll get these pieces. So this one first. So you see, it's really very easy. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, but it's easy. Now this one I am not going to snip because I want it to sit up a little bit taller. So we're going to leave the point on this one because this is going to be like the center of the rose. Same premise though, making sure that you're keeping them all kind of separate. Okay, let's see, you need to go this way. And just hold it there for a second so that you know that it's dry. Otherwise it can kind of get crooked. Okay, and then the last one, I think I will cut this one down. You can just play with it, kind of eyeball it. And the more you make, the more you're going to kind of tweak it and figure out what works best for you. But it's incredibly easy, y'all. And they're so pretty. So there you have it. Now, we're gonna make it prettier. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to take a paintbrush and we're gonna roll our little petals down onto the paintbrush. You could also use a pencil or anything else. And then you get that little curl. Kind of makes it look more like a flower. Gives it some movement. You don't have to do this part, but I think it makes it prettier. And you can do just the bottom ones or you can do all of them. It's totally up to you. Play with it and see what you think looks best. And the thicker your paintbrush is, your roller, your little curve will be less. So again, do whatever makes your heart happy. But they're so pretty, y'all, and so easy. If you have any questions about any of this, you can always message me on my page. I'm always happy to help. Okay, so we're just gonna, I'm not gonna do all of them, but you see how that makes it, gives it so much more movement. And you can also embellish them with some Rub and Buff. Here's one that I made. And I added some gold Rub and Buff to the edges, just to give it a little extra something, something. So you can totally do that, but they look totally beautiful, just like that. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and that you'll go out and make some beautiful paper roses for yourself. And I think they would look really pretty at Christmas time, maybe using some sheet music and nestle them into your trees or put them on packages. So many different ways you can play with these. So anyway, that's it, and I hope you found it helpful. Have a great night.